bonkers. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Welcome back to good old Movie Macabre, one of television's finest hours. Okay, well, make that two of television's finest hours. I ain't proud. Okay, just take, for example, the little gem worth reading up for your viewing displeasure this time around. It's something called Tombs of the Blind Dead. Slight case of overkill here, folks. A slight case of overkill. I mean, it wasn't enough to have them dead, but they had to be the blind dead. Oh, the original title was Tombs of the Blind Dead with Halitosis, a terrible skin problem, and who were also losing their hair. But they just couldn't get that all on the old marquee, so they settled for dead and blind only. Actually, this is one of them foreign jobs where the actors' lips don't exactly match what they're saying at the time, you know? Sort of like if I was talking along and all of a sudden, like, nothing I said was in sync with my lips, you know? I know what you're saying. How does she do that? Well, sometimes I just wonder my own darn self. Just one of my little several God-given talents I have, you know. Heather didn't just hire me for my brains, okay? Oh, you know, get Tombs of the Blind Dead. Coming right up after these words of note from the advertiser.
Nobody beats the bedroom. You want selection?
And here it is, as promised, tonight's Movie Mac Biggie, Tombs of the Blind Dead. I know there is a word for it when a girl from Portugal is fond of other women. I think she's called a lesbian or something like that. Well, different strokes. And that Roger, I mean, you want to talk about a jerk? He invites Betty to come along for their little romp in the countryside, and when she eagerly accepts, he says to himself, "Whoa, boy, I am really in for a swinging weekend now." And now he's stuck with a chick who likes to lead when she dances. Well, I'd say it serves him right. And I was glad to at least see something go right for that poor Virginia. I mean, she didn't have to shell out any of her hard-earned escudos to get that train to stop after all. As it turned out, that sucker was only going about 2 kilometers an hour. Hardly what you call a bullet train. Now, I know some of you are saying she did the really sensible thing by jumping off, but trust me, there's action aplenty coming up. Action aplenty! Tombs of the Blind Dead continues on Movie Macabre right after these messages. Do you think they could maybe milk this scene a little more? And she was afraid she might not be able to get a room on account of she hadn't called ahead to make a reservation. Why, that place is practically a cemetery. Oh, golly. And I guess it's really true what they say about Portugal being one of the last great bargain spots for the budget-minded tourists. So what if you have to rough it a little? Why, sleeping on the ground and building your own fire can be fun. And when there's a dead tree growing right next to the fireplace like that, it's a snap. Yeah. I have the same darn problem every time I bring home one of them plants from the nursery, too. I mean, they just want to die on me. But now I know what to do with it. I just put it right next to the fireplace. Okay, well, we'll get back to that land of matadors and 2-bit souvenirs right after these words from the folks who pay the bills. Oh, gee. And Virginia was just getting used to the idea that there might be a Santa Claus. Oh, yeah, poor dear. But honestly, I don't know why she wasn't able to escape. I mean, it wasn't like them galloping ghoulies could have won the Kentucky Derby the way they were riding. I mean, just because they were galloping in slow motion, that was not reason for her to have to gallop in even slower motion. And something else that really has me wondering is just exactly why they came after her like that in the first place. Maybe they just didn't care for that jazz station she was listening to. Okay, a little Dizzy Gillespie goes a long way. unfortunately for Virginia, she didn't go a long way. Oh. Well, right now it's time for the advertisers to take out their wrath on you. Yep, Virginia, there is a commercial. Or 2, 3. And then it's back to our feature, Tombs of the Blind Dead, right here on Movie. All that slam bam excitement continues now as we return to Tombs of the Blind Dead.
I called Lisbon. Virginia didn't return home last night. Betty!
I kind of had her pegged as a fainter. I mean, she just kind of looks like the fainting type. I'd say she has no stomach, except I already seen her in a 2-piece bathing suit. Oh, yeah. Oh, and having a joker of a toe tagger around like that wasn't much help either. Oops, wrong step. Real cute. Little morgue humor there. Very little. Okay, well, I guess I shouldn't get down on the guy. I mean, I have been known to pull a little practical joke from time to time, my own darn self. Like just the other day, you know, when I was in that Mexican restaurant across the street from the station here, real loud I yelled out, "Cockroach!" Oh, that was a real knee slapper. Really cracked the place up. Not to mention what it did to the place. Oh, look at this. Look. The boom operator has fallen asleep again. This will be funny. I guess that one kind of backfired.
Inspector, I'm going to see Pedro and ask a few questions.
Hey, Professor, watch out. You're going to bang your noodle. Oh, see, I told you to watch out. Oh, yeah, and by the way, thanks for that swell dissertation on them what-you-call Templars. I wonder if they're any relation to Simon Templar, the saint. Oh, and them drawings especially. Oh, yeah, boy, they really help tell the story. Now, I have got a few drawings of my own darn self to help me illustrate a story. Once upon a time, there was this beautiful, smart movie hostess named Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. See? That's Elvira right there. And she had this mean old boss named Attila, the program director. That's him right there. See, he's saying, "Hey, Foxy baby," and she's going, "Ah!" And Elvira, of course, the movie hostess, she worshipped the big bucks, you know, money. But she never got to see very much of it on account of Attila didn't like to part with it. Really a sad story. So one day, Elvira threatened to go on strike if he didn't give... Who the heck could that be? Shut up already. Okay. Hello, Elvira, quick sketch artist of the dark speaking. Attila! Hi, it's you. Drawings? Drawings? No, I haven't seen any drawings. No, there ain't no drawings around here. Oh, you must have seen them drawings in a movie or something. You say you're glad to hear that on account if I did walk out, you'd just tell me to keep on walking forever? Well, I'm glad we got that one straightened out. Yeah, okay, have a nice day. You're gonna catch that dude in the right mood, you know? Otherwise, he don't like listening to stories like this. Okay, well, Tombs of the Blind Dead returns after this time out.
Then tonight we may solve the mystery.
Well, that's you did the telephoner. My ears are ringing. Hello? Guess it must be the phone. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Hello. Elvira? It's Mr. Wild and Winsome.
Oh, yeah, well, winsome, loosome. It's Breather, the only guy I know who was born under the sign of herpes. Howdy, Breather.
Howdy back. How's my favorite doing?
Well, I was doing just fine until you called. You got something on your sick, demented little mind?
Oh, yeah, I got a really funny rib tickler for you.
Oh, go ahead. Groan me out.
Okay. What did the operator say to the man who called the zoo?
Please tell me.
I'm sorry, but the lion is busy. The lion is busy.
Brother!
The new 1987
Let's get back to the action now. It's tonight's Movie Max Thriller Diller, Tomb of the Blind Dead. And as it turned out, the two of them have a whole lot in common. They both look for the same thing in a relationship. A woman! Oh, Tomb of the Blind Dead continues right after these commercials, so stick around.
This is the...
Okay, where were we? So what's the matter, Maria? You got no sense of humor? What, you got something against blind dates? Oh, you've heard of the Grim Reaper? Well, meet the Grim Creepers. And I like it the way they sort of chant wherever they go. Chances are, because I wear a silly grin. Stupid, I know, okay, but what do you want for a cappella? The only person who has lucked out in this movie so far is Roger. I know they just butchered him up something awful, but at least he got what he always wanted. 2 women fighting over him. Wasn't that dumb, though? I mean, there he was, screaming for his life, and them 2 dames were mud wrestling. Without the mud, though. And Betty was actually carrying on like she didn't like it. Well, now it's down to Betty and the boys. Maybe she'll have better luck convincing them she ain't interested than she had with Pedro. Right now, the advertisers would like to convince you of something, so lend an ear. The exciting conclusion of Tombs of the Blind Dead is coming right up. Yes, folks, it really is the end. And it didn't come 1 minute too soon for this Mistress of the Dark. What a stupid, downbeat, nothing movie. You know what they should have called this movie? Tombs of the Blind Dull. I mean, it didn't even have a good finish. As a matter of fact, it didn't even have a finish at all until my favorite stage manager, Randy, came up with the bright idea of gluing the end on my butt. Good thinking, Randy.
Thank you.
No, thank you. He is so polite. I can't believe it. I have to remember to get him something especially nice for Christmas. Maybe a leftover Cabbage Patch doll. Or better yet, a blind dead doll. You just wind it up and watch it walking through the wall. Well, that's about a wrap for this time around. Thanks a bunch, Attila. You really made me earn that paycheck this week. Why, if I had half a mind, I'd stick them drawings I made up on the bulletin board in the lobby. Only kidding, cheapskate. Only kidding. Well, darling, I'm making a hasty retreat. Oh, yeah, and, unpleasant dreams. Ha 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 ha!